What's going on, everybody? It's your boy PTK Blam back in the building for another episode of the Shop Podcast. How is everybody feeling this evening? We are back with another Saturday, another phenomenal show. As you can see, tonight is Ladies' Night at the Shop Podcast. It has been forever, and we have a fantastic guest lined up for the night. So before we get in and let the guests talk about, where you guys can find her and just give us some basic information. Once again, I want to say thank you for you guys. Appreciate you guys' support every single week in here on the Shop Podcast. All the links are in the description below. Go check us out. Retweet the link. Put it on Twitter earlier. So let everybody know the Shop Podcast is now live. So let's go ahead and go to our special guest. Now, this is a awesome woman gamer. She's been on the show for multiple times before. It's just been a little while. She is part of Grown Women Gaming. So shout out to them. Grown Women Gaming Podcast. Go check them out. All of the information is in the link in the description below. But go ahead and give yourself a shout out, Delilah. Let everybody know where they can find you and how you've been this week.
Man, I've been good. Just a busy week. Just trying to get some things done around the house and, of course, some work stuff. But I've been good. Happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
No problem. Appreciate
you already
you.
Shouted out everything that I do. So
yeah, yeah. I kind of beat it to the punch
Yeah.
there. But once again, guys, go check out Grown Woman Gaming. Some of the best lady gamers you'll find. Super knowledgeable, super respectful, and don't come in there all soft and sweet. They really do this gaming stuff. So don't go in there thinking they don't know what's going on. They know who really what's going on. So shout out to all the ladies in Grown Women Gaming. Appreciate you guys. You're all awesome. And now to my amigos, the best panel in my opinion in gaming. Let's start with you, Stag. Appreciate you every single week, brother. How you been? What you been playing? What you been up to, man?
Man, shit, I've been good, I guess. I've been playing, everything a lot as usual. I've been diving into Lego Star Wars, which I don't know, the Fallen Order, some shit. I don't know. Been playing the crap out of that lately, and boosting gamer score as usual, and ignoring my PlayStation 4 because. Yeah, whatever. Just picked up the little Evercade handheld that showed up today. I'm gonna check that out. And,
okay.
Just living life. And man, I've finished a lot of the gardening stuff, so I really kind of like, what do I do with myself? I got to finish the rabbit hutch tomorrow before I have my surgery next Thursday because I'm gonna have that downtime. But other than that, man, I'm just been arguing with idiots on Twitter and playing video games and trying to stay alive.
I feel you, brother. So appreciate you, man. I haven't seen any gardening pictures, so you're right. I actually haven't seen it in a little while, but
everything's just growing now. So
yeah, it's crazy, man. It's awesome. I love seeing the progress. So once again, guys, all of his information is in the description below. He also does stream. I don't know how much he'll be doing that, obviously, in the next upcoming weeks because of what's going on. But that information's all down below as well. Check him out. Appreciate you, Stag. Let's go ahead and throw this over to you since you're around. Let everybody know what's going on with you, how you been, what you've been playing this week, brother.
What is up? Okay, sorry about that. I had to pause my mic for a sec. What is up? Oh, man, it is Saturday night. I am glad to be hanging out with my friends, and also I guess I am now introduced to Delilah HD. I've heard about her, but I have never personally been able to talk to her. But it's, God, what have I been playing? ESO as usual, and yes, I decided to check out Disintegration.
Awesome. Okay, cool. I need to hear. We'll talk a little bit about that after the show, man. I've seen a couple people in my timeline talking about it. Shout out to Jamie, a couple other people. I think, shout out to Insipid Ghost. He was actually streaming that. My boy Luke. So definitely something that we may need to check out, man. But anyway, let's go ahead and throw this over to Mr. Fuzzy Belvedere, the smoothest voice. It's like butter every Saturday, man. I love it. I love it. But let everybody know what's going on with you, Fuzz. How you been? What you been playing?
Hey, what's up, everyone? Glad to be here. Glad to have our special guest. Been diving more into PC gaming, helping the boys with theirs, and been just messing around with GTA 5 mods and I'm gonna probably say this wrong. Beam NG Drive, which is kind of just a physics driving simulator. It's more of like a Wreckfest, but for computers where you have a lot more, destruction and stuff like that. So just messing around with that. But man, glad to be here. Glad to finally get to talk about some of the news over this past week. So let's get it.
All right, shout out, man. So appreciate you being in every single week, man. We got some awesome people in the chat. Let me just go ahead and throw a couple shout outs. We see David lurking. What's up, King? How you doing down in the chat? Cyber Gunters, Mod of the Year, Shonsu, man. Everybody hanging out with us. Crazy Greek, man. Appreciate you guys. Love the support. Let everybody know once again on Twitter. Retweet that link, and we appreciate it. So let's go ahead and get started. So as you guys mostly know, we always start with the poll of the week. There's a poll I put up every single Monday on Twitter. If you're not following me, go follow me. All of that information in the link below. Let's go ahead and get it started, though. So the poll of the week this week was who would benefit the most by purchasing WB Games division. So obviously I put a couple options there. Obviously Xbox, Sony, Google, and other, just to leave it kind of wide open. And overwhelmingly, not to my surprise at all, Xbox won the poll with like 82%. It's not even worth talking about really any of the other ones. But we'll talk about this as best as we possibly can, because the information, did essentially was out last week that, potentially they're selling the entire game division, maybe pieces at a time. We don't really know how it's going down, but we'll start with you, Delilah. Answer to the best of your ability. I mean, where you at on this?
Yes, this is a disclaimer. I do work for Microsoft, so I have to go with the home team on this one. It would be, man, that's just a pipe dream. Like, it would be fantastic for something like that to happen. I mean, WB Games has a huge, like the studios they have under WB Games is fantastic with NetherRealm and Monolith. And, like, I mean, it's just it's a great set of studios. It would be fantastic if that was to happen. But
okay, cool. We go. All right, awesome. So once again, the disclaimers out there, everybody, just so that we don't paint ourselves into a corner here. We're gonna try and answer these to the best of our ability. All right, but yeah, that's a great start. So yeah, obviously Xbox. Most people voted that way as well. Not too surprised. We're waiting on the event sometime in July, so we'll see how this goes. This news coming out was actually really exciting. To hear. There were some other people that were also in the mix. I believe it was EA was taking a look. There was a couple other people taking a look. Either I can't remember right off the top of my head, but mostly everybody voted Xbox. So let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Stag. Out of those four options or multiple options, which one you choose and why, brother?
I got a two-part answer.
Okay.
First of all, I'll go with what I voted for and why. But I voted Google because I think they have the most. They have the least to offer as a fucking platform, and if they grabbed that, I mean, then maybe they could get some people on their platform. So that's my answer for that. Like, maybe they could, like, it would give them something
that makes sense logically.
Yes, logically it makes sense. It would give them something to offer exclusively, but I think as everyone knows I'm an Xbox fan, and I think us as gamers would benefit the most if Xbox had it. I mean, it would be cool if PlayStation had it. When honestly, I think it would benefit the most gamers if it stayed in the hands of a company that would make the games multi-platform. So, but I think I wouldn't buy a Stadia to play Mortal Kombat either, Dova. But I'm just saying, as a company, they would actually give them something to offer, their purchasers or whatever you want, their consumers, something on their system or a reason to go out and buy a Stadia. I want the controller, honestly, just to like put in my collection of stuff that's gonna die. But
ouch.
Yeah, well, let's be realistic here. Google gives up on things. I mean, I don't even have one of those. I got to get on eBay. Jesus. But no, I think it would do Xbox great. It would just be another amazing thing to have in their lineup of things that they can just keep giving us, of course. So, but that's where I'm at. I think Google would benefit most as a corporation. Maybe that's just a logic thinking, and then fans would be best served if it stayed with a multi-platform developer.
Awesome, and I agree.
I want it on Xbox because I'm not 100% neutral here.
Got it. So now that's fair. That's fair. We got to put it out there. It is what it is, but that's fair. So I love the way you started that because the big thing here is my thing was I want somebody who has experience with those studios, with video games, Sony, Nintendo, Xbox. That's how I would like to see them take advantage of the opportunity. And once again, we don't even know the details. Maybe they can just buy pieces. Maybe it's not an all-for-one deal. Maybe it's just you can grab a studio or two, possibly. We don't really know the ins and outs, but Xbox, Sony, Nintendo, I think it would be more suited. Now, logically, it does make sense for Google because they have the Stadia. That's an infant or a platform that's infant at this time. So we're just trying to grow. So they need something to give people for that platform. But I just don't know if I don't even trust Google because of Hangouts. So they got rid of Hangouts. They can't keep Hangouts.
Hangouts.
Oh man, like they already burnt that bridge with me. They burnt the bridge with me. Getting rid of Hangouts was it. That was it. So
how's your Google phone working?
Come on, man. Don't do that to me, man. Don't do that. We're not talking about that right now. But either way,
Google
So
Plus,
let's go.
maybe?
Hangouts. I mean, Hangouts not bad. I'm just saying they burned this one.
It just makes us. It makes PT sound wonderful, and the rest of us sound like
everybody else sounds like a robot. Yeah, so.
And that's without my voice mod.
No, I was just naming like Google platforms that kind of slowly starting to
just go away, disappear.
Yeah, I haven't even heard anything from or about Stadia, and
no, I see ads though.
Except for what we say when we talk about it, but it's been a minute. You don't see a lot about it on Twitter. You don't see it. I don't see much about it in the articles. But
they just announced exclusivity for Baldur's Gate though.
They did what?
Baldur's Gate. Yeah, the new Baldur's Gate is exclusive to Stadia.
And they leaked one of Ubisoft's what was it, God and Monsters.
Like a release date?
No, they actually had it downloadable, like a pre-playable demo.
Holy moly! Wow. Okay.
I think they may have done that on purpose to get some attention, but that's a whole nother story. But moving on.
Okay. All right. Well, let's over to Centurion to get your opinion, brother. Out of those options, which one do you choose and why, man?
I felt like it was a trick question.
No,
define who would gain the most. Are we talking popularity or money wise?
It's your own personal opinion.
No, I know. So for me, I guess my own personal opinion, popularity wise, would be Microsoft. They would be perfect to handle that kind of IP. They would keep it multi-platform. They would do it some justice in the fact that they have Game Pass and other services to help boost these titles. I would really like Microsoft to get a hold of WB games. It'd be awesome. Who would benefit the most financially? I want to be the person to come out and say Amazon.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's purely because they have Amazon Prime. And there's some entertainment value behind those characters, not only in the video game world, but also in the movie and television show world. And so having even access to the idea of being able to use them, because you see the war of streaming services right now between HBO, Disney, Netflix, and we have yet to see Amazon to really start stepping it up. But actually, I take that back. We've seen some cases of it with exclusive shows. And so this would just be right up Amazon's alley on, hey, we can use this on both our Prime platform and also in our gaming division.
I got a counter argument to that.
No problem. It was just something to think of.
Well, have you all watched the Killer Instinct documentary on?
Yes.
And you know how Double Helix was.
They got snatched up
by
Amazon. Yeah.
And so, can anyone of you all tell me what Double Helix is making right now?
That isn't it some kind of like wait.
That's the point I'm making when you pick Amazon as being the team to pick up WB. It's like I'm afraid of that kind of treatment, right? So that's just a counter argument.
It makes sense.
Me, Amazon comes up on the sheer fact of who's got $4 billion that they are just willing to throw at. Like, at the end of the day, if you want to know the business person inside of me, buying this game division is a huge effing gamble. You don't know what you don't know what all the fine print and red tape is behind every single one of those characters.
No, you're right. But once again, that's why we go back to somebody that's experienced, somebody that's going to treat the characters, the IPs right. You know, like an Xbox, a Nintendo, and or a Sony, somebody that has that kind of experience and is going to do the games justice. Like you said, keep some of the games multi-plat, the Mortal Kombat, things like that. You never know what the.
You want to talk about who's perfect for this? I hate to be that guy, but it'd be Sony. They already have experience in dealing with Disney and Spider-Man. Yeah, I know, but what I'm getting at, if you're talking about who's already got experience in dealing with a corporation or an entertainment company that has basically the rights to these characters like Disney does with Spider-Man. Sony already knows how to deal with situations like that. Microsoft, I think it would be awesome. They need to start now doing stuff like this, and like, I hate to be that guy to point it out, but they have kind of avoided dealing with characters that have just a huge amount. Come on, like, every one of these characters literally has a lawyer behind them. Sometimes Microsoft doesn't want to deal with that. They want to deal with original content that's not bound up in all this red tape and stuff like that.
I mean,
and yeah,
that could be true. I mean, even based on the studios that they purchase, they're making new IPs, some old, but a lot of these are new. We're getting a lot of new games from these new studios. So maybe there's some truth to that. I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but once again, I still much rather have a experience.
Oh, I would love Xbox, dude. If Microsoft got a hold of this, oh my God, I'd be.
Yeah. This is a king's ransom right here. I don't know if this option. I mean, this comes around too often. We're able to get a boatload of quality studios like this. So let's go ahead and throw this over to Fuzz, man. Get your general opinion on which when you heard it. I know we talked about it a little bit a couple of days ago, but where you at on this?
Well, I'll start off much like Stag with what I actually voted on, and then my thoughts outside of that. I picked Google as well, primarily because I just feel they're the least prepared for exclusive content with their own studio setups. I mean, this would be their way to kind of, I guess, gain some more momentum to attract more customers to them. But that's the only reason why I think Google would benefit the most, because if they keep on going on the course that they're on now, I think this will be like pretty much every other abandoned Google, thought process that disappears in a year or two, or gets abandoned or closed down or whatever. But ultimately, I'd like to see Xbox have it. But my gut tells me this would be more so, unless EA or Activision swoops up and snatches it or something. I have a feeling that Sony would be more, I guess, opposed to snatch this up, primarily because, like, they already have Spider-Man. They're already looking to kind of pivot into more of a entertainment company. Like, they can do video games, we all know that.
Yeah.
But they were kind of hurting for years with some of their movie studios and that venture, as far as like their streaming service, PlayStation View, and they want to have a better footing on their own owned or at least acquired IPs and properties, as far as not only for video games, but possibly even things that can be spun off into movies or series on Netflix, even if it's not their own, streaming service, at least being able to market that on other platforms.
Yeah.
But I would much rather have Xbox have it. So, Sony can have Spider-Man, we can have Batman, and, everybody, the world is good,
Yeah, right. That's the way Thanos wanted it. He wanted nice and balanced. He wanted things balanced all the way across the board. But either way, yeah. So I think we're all in agreement here. I feels like I'm getting a sense around the panel. Looks like even in the chat that a lot of us would much rather have a established company, especially in the video game space, taking a hold of those studios and doing right by the IPs, because there's a lot of great studios here. A lot of games people have forgot about that were made by those studios in particular. I mean, obviously there's some big ones, Mortal Kombat, things like that, but Batman. But yeah, that's really, really exciting. Well, hopefully we'll hear more about that in weeks to come, maybe in months to come. These things always take a little time to formulate, really. So we'll definitely see. But let's go ahead and run it up and keep this thing going. Shout out to everybody watching now live. Appreciate you guys' love and support. Once again, I see the GWG all in the chat.
You brought my my family. Gotta bring my family too.
I didn't even get to clean up the house. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everybody.
Had to.
Yeah. But I appreciate the GWG in the chat. Appreciate you ladies coming out to support. Thank you guys so much for that. Retweet that link. But let's go ahead and keep it moving. So we're talking a little bit about EA Play. Now, this is an event that just happened recently, a day or two ago, essentially. Well, I believe it was a day or two. A day or two ago. And I just wanted to get everybody's opinion. I mean, I didn't get a chance to watch it live. I did just go back and kind of watch a brief run through on YouTube of the games they did show, and I want to get everybody's temperature at where we're at. Now, a lot of us, we're gonna try and do this without putting our personal, introducing our personal feelings about EA. A lot of us don't really, it is what it is with EA, but we'll try and make this as unbiased as possible. We'll start with you, Delilah. Just what you saw, what you're excited to play, anything that stood out for you?
Wow. So for me, it was the EA originals. The 4 titles they showed for that I thought
Okay.
were really well presented. Like It Takes Two, Lost in Random.
That's
I
the
even
one I
liked
like.
the game Rocket Arena. I thought that was kind of cool. The pacing of it was a bit slow, but it still looked good. Like clearly, it's not something that's targeting me as being someone that's not really big on the whole kiddie-ish style, colorful type games, but clearly they know who they're targeting for that, and it looked pretty good. I would say also the announcement for Apex Legends was pretty
Apex
good, but
Legends, yeah.
yeah, but what stood out to me the most out of the entire show would have to be the next gen teas. Just because the graphic fidelity of the facial expressions and the
Crazy.
yeah, it looked
Some people were saying
phenomenal.
that was Battlefield 6
Oh, really?
possibly.
Wow.
Yeah, like the guy's face, and then you see the quick shot of all the soldiers walking around, like just plain white soldiers. Just it was like it was a demo of like they were running some testing some kind of engine or something.
Yeah. And my last one, if I had to pick 2, it would be Lost in Random. Because it just reminded me of the Nightmare Before Christmas, that whole art style with the dice and things. I thought it was pretty
Yeah.
cool. So, I mean,
Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna throw a couple out there too myself. Star Wars, I think looked cool. Squadrons, obviously, with that leaked, a few days ago, early that game was coming out, but we finally got to see some gameplay. It looked good. I mean, I'm back and forth with Star Wars and EA. They're 50-50 with Star Wars. The way they've handled the franchise over the years has been atrocious. Right up until Fallen Order. I think Fallen Order is probably the best iteration. Some people will say like Battlefront, but I think those games were pretty I say unenjoyable, but pretty empty in my opinion. Not a lot of replayability for me personally. What else did I see? I caught the little teaser that you were talking about, the next gen, the facial expressions. It looks great, so hopefully they'll make use of that. The Rocket Arena looked fun. And I mean, it wasn't a whole lot in my opinion. I mean, I went in with pretty much open eyes, didn't really have any pre expectations, so it was okay. It was a solid show. I don't really have too much bad to say about it. I mean, once again, it was EA. I'm trying to leave out my own bias when I talk about this, but yeah, it was okay. I mean, if I had to grade it, I don't generally do this. Maybe like a C. C, a solid C, maybe. But let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Stag. Did you watch it? If you did watch it, what'd you see that you like, brother?
And I rarely honestly watch these things live, as we all know, because I'm usually busy gaming, streaming, or working in the yard or having appointments. But I did watch this one live because I had nothing else going on. So I was like, sure, I got time to waste. I'll just ignore my children for however long this thing's going to last. I wasn't one of those people that felt underwhelmed or disappointed. I felt like it was a decent show. I honestly, what I liked the most from that show, which is right up my indie alley, was It Takes Two. Like just that I love games that try new things and that are willing to expand on things and take risks and really dive into different storylines and stuff like that. And other than your cookie cutter, tried and true, let's just put this out there because we know it'll sell type of games. I mean, I like those too. I mean, shit, I'm a sheep just like the rest of us, but I do like my indies and I love the stories that they can tell. So that one really, and the guy just seems like a kick-ass motherfucker, to be honest with you. Like, I love it. Like, he just I feel like him and I could have a beer and swear at the town and have a great time. But
the developer that made A Way Out, right? Like, I love that game.
Yeah, I haven't finished that, but it's a good game. Lost in Random looks great. I liked the visuals on Squadrons, but man, looking at the ship's dashboard, like I just was like, oh, that feels overwhelming. Like for me personally, like the game looks like it has a learning curve that it doesn't feel like it's up my alley. And I hope that a lot of people that are like super hyped about it, not only super hyped about that style of game and super hyped about Star Wars, aren't overwhelmed with the difficulty of learning how to do this stuff that they even described like just the different flying mechanics and things you can do, and it just sounds like it's definitely going to be a little bit more of a
Elite Dangerous,
awesome. Like a challenging game to learn how to play.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
He said that at the beginning it's gonna it's okay. You want to talk about learning curve? You go play what you just said it.
Anthem.
No. Yes. If I could, I am sending you a high five right now, dude.
Gotta get it in.
Elite Dangerous.
That was just a perfect little gap in time.
So Elite Dangerous, man, I'm gonna tell you right now, that there, that's overwhelming. I mean, you get thrown into like just craziness, but that they said they were going to ease you in, like giving you more and more to do as the game progressed, and they said by the time you finish the actual main story of the single player, you'd be ready to go into full-blown multiplayer. So they're actually using the single player as a way of I guess a tutorial. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, you're fine. It just had that vibe of like this might have like to be exceptional, or even above average. It looks like it has. I mean, don't get me wrong, most of those games, to be exceptional and to be really good, you got to put in your time. This one just feels and looks like it's that next level shit. So
I got rickrolled.
I could be wrong. I just saying based on what I saw and the instruments and like balancing your energy for your lasers and just this and
there's a whole lot going on.
Your shield, and I'm just like, man, I just want to go pew pew. Like seriously, like if I'm gonna do that, I mean, I look. If they put it in EA Access, this motherfucker's gonna try it.
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna spend money on it. I'm gonna just go ahead and put that out right now. I've got too much to play to spend time learning that stuff. I just don't have the time. Don't have it.
No, that's fair.
I don't do, and I mean, if anybody knows me, I don't really do multiplayer. So I've moved away from that. I don't enjoy it as much. I'm not into the rush of it, I guess. I'd rather play with people against like the game than with people against other people. So
all right, go ahead, Delilah. I know you had.
I was trying to ask you to just poll everybody real quick. So did anyone of you have an issue with the perspective, like it being in first person as opposed to having a third person?
So I think that it's nice to have an option. Because doesn't Elite Dangerous even give an option? You can go first or third.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. And most pilot games should, I think, give you that option. I think
this game's only in first person.
That's what that may be a bit, especially like you said, the HUD. If it's crowded, that may be a little bit of a problem. On top of the already maybe even steep game curve as far as like learning curve and
it's in first person.
Yeah, it's all first person
only.
Yeah, only.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Centurion. That's a perfect segue. So what did you see from EA that you liked, or just in general, where you at on that?
Well, okay, I don't lie to nobody, so I will be up front. I work a lot. I have not finished. No, I did watch it. I did watch it. I did watch it. I have not finished it yet, but from what I have seen, like with Star Wars, okay, as soon as I found out that you're going to be able to divert power from your weapons to your rear shields if someone's chasing you. I mean, just stuff like that on the fly. I don't know why it appeals to me. It seems fun. I guess that's why I bought Disintegration. So I don't know. I guess I just enjoy multitasking. But anyways, outside of Star Wars, because who doesn't love Star Wars? I was definitely intrigued by actually a lot of the games like Delilah mentioned. The random game, the Rocket Arena game. There's actually a lot of stuff that EA is coming out that I think I would enjoy sitting down, and me and my wife would probably enjoy playing together.
Okay. All right, cool. Nothing wrong with that.
Now, there is one thing that did pop in my mind, and it has to do kind of like what's all going on around the world right now. It is good to see now, though, that with the split right now that's going on in society when it comes to us as a society, as like a social society, it's great to see that game developers are now using this as a way to push forward with crossplay, and now they're creating a lot of inclusive games, no matter what platform or color you fly, red, blue, green. be able to all play together and experience these games together. And I think it's really awesome that developers are actually starting to make a major push for that.
Awesome. All right, cool. All right, cool. So, can you guys hear me? Am I good?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure. All right, so let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Fuzz. And that was a good segue, Centurion. A lot of great points there as well. I don't know the EA event before I get to you, Fuzz. The EA event felt a little odd. It just, to me, didn't feel like there was a whole lot of energy surrounding it. I don't know if it's just because people aren't really too happy with EA in general, just based on things that they've been doing, but I didn't feel a lot of energy. Like I'm
actually having a little bit of a weirdness with these digital events in general.
Yeah,
I thought it would be fun. I thought it would be cool, but it just feels like there's an awkwardness because also, like, oh, we can only have this many people in the room or this, that, and the other. Like, I mean, there's like an awkwardness to the show itself and the whole situation, and I don't know how to put my finger on it, but no, I'm kind of right there with you.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's just, like you said, just because everything has to be digital now, we're just getting used to it, but I was looking on Twitter the day EA Play went live, and I'm like, there wasn't really no energy. People weren't really super hype about it, but anyway, let's go ahead and get to see you, Fuzz. I don't want to take over the topic here. It's on you, brother. Where you at, man? What'd you see that you like?
The next-gen snippets. I like the car models for the what will more than likely be Need for Speed in the future. I still would rather see what Forza's got in the pipeline as far as for ray tracing and stuff. But it was nice to see that they had a lot of realistic details on what will more than likely be the next gen, Need for Speed. The Star Wars thing. I mean, this will be the one time I'll give EA kudos. The price is reasonable, $40 for it. Yeah, it's kind of a short campaign. It's mainly a multiplayer game, but they could have, in a normal world, probably charged $60 and people would still buy it. But the fact that they're only charging $40, no microtransactions, at least at launch, although they sound like they're not putting any in it at all. That was a pleasant surprise. Now
we'll see. We got to reserve judgment on stuff like that.
Now the only drawback, I would have preferred that they gave the option to be in third person. But I'm fine with first person. I'll just have to hook up the flight stick that I use for Ace Combat.
That's what it is.
Well, I've played a lot of Ace Combat. I switch between in cockpit and like third person view on it, so it's going to take some getting used to solely being in first person. But that one dev that made It Takes Two was a nice, I guess. Each year he ramps it up, it seems. So it's a nice emotional story-based game that's going to have a lot of new mechanics to it. So be interesting to give that a try. The sports games, I don't know. I kind of felt that they didn't look next gen. Like, I understand the camera that they were using. I don't think that's the gameplay camera. I mean, you could probably situate it for a replay to get that view, but I would have wanted to see something that was going to tell me that this is what it potentially will look like on the next gen consoles. Because right now, to me, other than some of the not screen cap, but motion cap stuff, it still looks like current gen. So I don't know. I was a little bit let down on that aspect as far as Madden. Like, my son is solely into Madden, and this is probably one of the first years he's like, we don't need to get it this year. Yeah. So it's like kind of weird.
Because they only need to do roster updates every year for fuck's sake.
They need to just make it a running game.
They don't need to release a game every year. They need to release a game maybe every 2 or 3 years and do a fucking $10 or $15 roster update. They don't advance the game enough to justify a new sports title every year.
Yeah. I totally
agree. For NBA, for NHL, or for Madden.
Yeah, we knew that about 5
I want NFL 2K back so fucking bad.
Don't get me started. With competition, this is a perfect example of why competition is good for everyone, because there's zero competition for EA in the sports area. Zero.
No, and then the football games that get rolled out are trash.
Yeah, that's about it. So we're going to go ahead and, before we get too far into that, we're going to go ahead and roll over to the next topic.
Spend the rest of the show on that.
I know, right? Easy for sure. But we're going to go ahead and throw this over, or roll this over to the next topic. Appreciate you guys joining live. Once again, everybody in the chat, retweet, like the show, subscribe if you're new here, man. Appreciate the love and support. Let's go ahead and roll this over to Cyberpunk. We're gonna be talking a little bit about some I don't want to say down news. I wouldn't say it's bad news essentially, but it is news. So Cyberpunk was slated to come out a lot sooner than now was going to come out. So it was actually delayed to I believe it was November. Let me just double check. Yeah, November. I believe it was delayed till now. We don't specifically know the reasons why. They did release a statement saying there's a lot of technical things they need to work on, bugs, things like that. We assume that's the main reason why it's getting pushed back. But I just want everybody's genuine opinion on where you at with the delays. I mean, obviously it seems like a game of this magnitude needs to work and be very, very good when it comes out. It does not need to be broken because that can take the legs off a game like this really fast. Now, we obviously CD Projekt Red, they have a green light. They delivered on every game, Witcher specifically this generation. So we all have super high expectations. Where you at on the delay, Delilah? What was your first thought when you saw that they pushed it back?
Oh man, like everybody else, I was disappointed initially. Because everyone's. I mean, come on, this game looked. What we've seen already looks phenomenal, so I'm ready to play this game. But at the same time, like just judging from what I've seen from Last of Us 2 and like some of the glitches,
bugs,
like that.
And things. You're right.
You know what I mean? So it's like I really want this game super polished. I want them to take their time, make it right. And I still love the fact that they're doing their July 25th showcase still. So
yeah.
I'm okay with the delay. I mean, it's not like I got a choice anyway. It's like I'm in the acceptance phase of it at this point. Like so, even though I'm disappointed, it is what it is. We gotta wait a little more longer. So yeah, I mean, I think they're gonna probably line up with the console launches because you got Series X and you have PlayStation 5 in that same holiday window. So I think, I mean, imagine playing it with better load times and etc. on consoles. So
that's true.
Regardless, I'm gonna be ready.
That's true. Good point. So that is a good point. And I want to highlight that too because it seems to coincide with the expected release times and days of these new consoles. So that could be very interesting getting that thing day one and having a Series X or a PS5 to actually play it on with the upgrades and with smart delivery, all the kind of stuff you get. The upgrades if you don't, you have a Xbox Series X right off the rip. You get it later on when you purchase one. So yeah. That's a big deal too. So let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Stag. Where you at? Obviously, we all anticipating playing this game. We all want to get it, obviously, and dive right in. But where you at when you heard it or saw essentially on that it was delayed? Where was your first thought?
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with Delilah on this in the sense that like I want a game to be complete. I want it to be polished. I don't want a game riddled with bugs. And I didn't look at their statement. I knew that it had been delayed, but I just read the statement and going off of what they said, like, look, sounds like the game's done. Obviously, it's been done. They've been saying this, but that they want to go through and make sure everything is working correctly and there is no bugs or a minimal amount of buds. But God, I just want to say buds. Apparently, I need to start smoking weed again for fuck's sake. It's been 6 months and I'm like, I need weed. Anyhow, I don't. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense that they would want. What they're saying makes logical sense of, go through everything, balance game mechanics, fix the bugs, and it's a huge world and a huge, there's a lot of things that could go wrong, if they didn't put the attention to detail in. That said, I'm disappointed for all of you that are really looking forward to it. That also being, I can't talk. What the fuck? That being said, though, like we all got a lot to play. Like, there isn't a shortage of stuff for us to play up until that moment. There's I have 12 to 15 games on pre-order right now that are coming out before Cyberpunk comes out. So I mean, there's plenty out there. There's that, and I think you guys want the best game. You don't want because if they release the game on that first window that they were supposed to. And it rolled out with a shit ton of bugs. Oh my god! Oh my
goodness!
Right?
Oh my
goodness. Then everybody would be like,
"Oh,
right." Twice this week.
Yeah.
But it would be like, because Witcher 3 and how much people love that series and that game, like it would shift that momentum they have of being such a great studio to like, oh, they fucking suck and look how far they've fallen. They rolled out this trash. But if they wait and release the game perfectly or as close to as possible, everything's gonna roll out with bugs and need some patches. There's always you can't foresee everything that's gonna happen when you finally actually push that live button. I mean, as you know with your podcast, and I know as a streamer,
absolutely,
it happens with technology sometimes.
Yeah.
But that being said, I also feel that not only does their statement make sense, but I think there's the underlying notion of possibly rolling out around the time of launching with the new systems. So,
okay,
because I mean, they are both saying holiday 2020. So that game they say November 19th now. That's real close to holiday 2020. So I mean, I'm not saying it's just going to be like because they've already said it's going to release smart delivery for Xbox, and is it going to be on PS4 or is it just going to be on PS5?
What?
Or is it going to be on one or the other?
It's going to be on.
Okay,
what,
is it
Cyberpunk?
Yeah, I just don't remember right now. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I think the updates. It'll be on both, and I think you have to. It'll be like an update for disc to disc versus or digital to digital or something. They haven't really gone into the smart
launch
delivery
title window kind of a thing, and I think it gives them like even more people to buy the game. Because look, I mean, I'm buying next gen, but I have it pre-ordered for Xbox, and I don't even know why I have it pre-ordered right now. I'm not a huge fan of games like that. I mean, I loved Mass Effect, but I couldn't get into Witcher 3 at all. I've tried like 5 times. It's just not my jam. But the sci-fi aspect is really where I'm like, I might like Cyberpunk. I just hope it doesn't. I don't mind if the storylines and like how the massiveness of the gameplay, that won't overwhelm me. But like skill trees and modifications and stuff, like if I don't have to get too deep into it and still enjoy it, I'll be fine with it. But if it's like way too much, I'll just stop playing it and move on to something else. So,
well, good luck with that, because I mean, based on what they've done already in their track record, they're gonna stuff this thing. It's
I know, but like once I hit that million gamer score, I'm not chasing gamer score anymore.
So wait, you have open world fatigue, basically? Open world.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of like, God damn it, I don't want to go get your can of soap. Okay, like go save Jimmy John Billy Bob by yourself. God damn it, why are you sending me? You're only gonna give me like a fucking piece of metal for doing that?
He takes these NPCs personal. He be in there like, go fetch your own goddamn quest.
I know, man.
Yeah, I feel you, brother. It's stressful around here, but I want to throw something back to you.
You just standing here not doing anything? God damn.
I want to go ahead and throw something back to you to kind of piggyback off of what he said. Do you feel like, I mean, we talk about Witcher 3, and a lot of people say that's like the game of the generation. A lot of people would agree that game defined, this generation. Mm-hmm. But do you think that they CD Projekt Red's earned the ability with the game as ambitious as Cyberpunk 2 just push the game off when they want, like kind of Rockstar situation, like where they can the game can come out whenever it feels like coming out?
I would say so. I mean, I feel like they've earned that. I mean, looking at Witcher 3 and all of the DLC that they released along with that game, yeah, I mean, it's just phenomenal. And I kind of putting them up there with Rockstar. I
do too.
I think they have more than proven that they can deliver on a title like this, on open world based RPG. So yeah, it just adds to the fact that I can wait, man. Like, I know it's gonna be. I feel like I just kind of have an assurance that the game's gonna be great. I don't even have to think that it's gonna. Let's say the game turns out bad. That's not even into my mind because I trust that team so much.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's gonna be bad either.
Right. It's just like when you have a development studio that just constantly put out hits. Another one would be the team that made Titanfall, Respawn.
Yeah, they're another
they've been just hit after hit, right? So it's like whatever they put out, you feel like it's gonna be great. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
So.
All right, cool. Because I put them in that. I put them up there with Rockstar too. We talked about this months and months ago when we first saw that first like 15-minute video we got of Cyberpunk. I think it was last E3, I believe, or maybe even one prior to that. I was like, I put them on that level, that tier at this particular point. So, like I said, ultimately, as long as the game comes out not broken, as little bugs as possible. We're going to be playing this game for the next couple years at the very least. So I'm super excited either way. But let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Centurion. Get your opinion on the delay, Cyberpunk 2077. You got that soapbox today?
Why would I have a soapbox? You want my opinion? We're all saying that we've all what is it? CD Projekt Red has pedigree.
Yeah.
Well, so did BioWare at one time.
Oh,
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm only joking. Oh man,
that hurt.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, I had such high expectations. We won't say the name again, but yes, it's just when people are like, "Hey, the writers for Mass Effect have moved on." Yes, they have moved on. If you cannot tell. Anyways.
I remember when even that was announced, my heart sank because I had a feeling that it would just change the direction of the studio, and I just leave it there,
So that's why it's just oh look, Dragon's Age. Boy.
The same can be said for Naughty Dog, but we're not gonna get into that. But anyway,
I know.
Let's go ahead and use the
So, oh my gosh, the delay. When I saw this, instant reaction. I chuckled. I chuckled as soon as I saw the article. I was like, wow, that actually honestly does not surprise me. It's really good to see, though, that they're wanting to polish the game and definitely make it not something that we've seen a lot of this generation. We've seen a lot of games with bugs, glitches, things just going haywire. And when you are dealing with an RPG, we all know how fun and creative bugs and glitches can get, especially on an open world RPG. Just look at some of the stuff that's come out of Bethesda. So definitely I'm glad that they are willing to at least, take it, get in front of it and take the brunt force of everybody being ticked off. And they're just saying, hey, we want to make it a better product. Wow, getting hoarse over here. So I'm excited, definitely. That means no matter what, I don't have to buy a game that's going to sit in my game collection until the Series X comes out. Now, my opinion, though, you say it's November 19th is the release date?
No, I just said November. I don't know.
Oh, that's all it says is November?
Yeah.
See, people are trying to say that the release date is going to hint to where these consoles are going to come out. And we all got to remember, if things go according to plan, that's the plan right now, Halo Infinite is supposed to launch with the Series X. I don't see CD Projekt Red, wanting to launch that around that. Also, both games are Xbox games, so does Xbox really want to basically compete with its own titles? I really honestly see CD Projekt Red releasing Cyberpunk either a week after the Series X, something like that. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I just Googled and double checked, and the release date is November 19th.
It's 19th? Okay, I didn't know specific. I just put November in my notes.
Yeah,
okay.
I just double checked.
And when I think about the Series X actually released, I believe, November 7th. So that would give people enough time to take these consoles home, play some Halo Infinite, get familiar with the console, and then get their hands on Cyberpunk. Just saying.
No, that makes a lot of sense when you break it down from that standpoint. Because
get used to the UI.
Stop it. We throwing low.
Do you think there's actually going to be a big difference in the UI? Really?
Nah,
I've heard there's not a difference. But once again, who knows? We'll definitely see.
You're going to give us back to 360 UI.
That'd be sweet. The blades.
And then
the blades.
The store will be alphabetized.
Oh my gosh! Did you say the blades?
See, I knew you was gonna.
Blades.
The
blades. What is there? An Impala? Is there an Impala going?
Right.
Since you said you work for Microsoft, all I want is to be able to sort the store alphabetically.
My goodness! We got somebody out here you can make a complaint to. Go ahead.
I can tell you for sure that's coming.
That's the only thing it bugs the shit out of me that you can't.
Right here, leaked on the shop.
First of all, that's not a leak. That's not a leak. There's several videos already out on that.
So. It tries to be so up the wall that you can't.
Did you just hear what she said?
Yes, I did, and I gotta go, man. I don't need to talk anymore. I'm done. I can retire. Thank you so much. Microsoft.
There's a video out about.
So do you feel more like that one guy, C Gamer?
Oh no, we're not doing that.
No, you feel. I'm sorry.
Nope,
Does he actually feel like he changed something?
Moving on.
No, I didn't change nothing. Come on now.
Okay, I'm kind of glad I don't get the reference. So
yeah, this all good.
Well, actually, he got the reference. I know.
We'll explain post show. But anyway, moving on.
I know what he means now.
Just hit him right.
Let's move on.
We're moving on. So Fuzz, let's just move on. Where are you at on the delay, man? Yeah, I know. When you saw it, when you heard it, man, what was your opinion?
A little disappointment, but yeah, for what it's worth, I mean, they're going to polish the game, so I don't have to worry about a corrupted save possibly, or falling through the map, or just random things that would frustrate me to the point where I'd probably put the game down after waiting for so long. So I'm glad that they're taking the time to polish and fix, the storyline glitches that we may encounter, or other things that may not quite work as far as some of the systems in the game. So it's for the better. As far as the timing, I guess I look at that as kind of like the silver lining. Not that it would be any problem playing it on my X1X, but I would probably prefer playing it on my Series X. So this will be right around the corner from it. So that's the silver lining I'm looking at it for, as far as that delay. But in the grand scheme of things, I almost wish more developers would take the time to polish their games and try to focus on releasing it complete without any major game breaking issues. So I commend them for that. Although, I was really looking forward to, what was it, September 19th, I think, or December 15th or something. But at least I didn't take the time off of work, that like silly stuff I used to do. But I'll probably still take November 19th off now. But that's it. I'm glad that they're working on it, but disappointed that I can't play it sooner. But it's worth the wait.
It's honestly, it's bittersweet, but ultimately, it's definitely going to be worth the wait. If we get a finished product and at the quality level that we're all expecting, CD Projekt, I honestly think they're going to exceed what we're all expecting. Where you at on that, Delilah? With your expectations, and what do you ultimately think they're gonna actually give us? You think they're gonna exceed that?
Dude, I don't want to put too much pressure on them. It's just enough already.
That, man. I'm putting all the pressure on them.
Clearly. Let's see. Do I think they're gonna exceed expectation? Yeah, probably story wise. Because I remember watching the initial trailer they released with the mods and things like that.
Oh man!
They only showed you like a handful of mods. They didn't show you every little.
They don't want to give you too much,
right? They don't.
They gotta have some secret.
That was a 15-minute video.
We saw that game is gonna make people shit their fucking pants. That's all I gotta say. It's gonna not only hit expectations, I'm pretty sure it's going to exceed expectations.
2020, please. Like, I'm hoping that it ends on a high note.
I mean, unless 2020
end on a high note.
Yeah, that's the one elephant in the room is what's going on in the world right now. But hopefully that works itself out, man. But I think once again, the general consensus here is that the game's going to be fucking fantastic. So I don't think any of us are really worried about the delay at all.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
When do you have to? What is the cutoff date for Game of the Year?
I think it's before the 19th, because I think Assassin's Creed hit by that.
Well, I mean that depends. I mean it is Jeff's show, so
I mean doesn't he get to say so?
Jeff's like, don't worry, it's a leap year. We can move things around.
Remember, he let Death Stranding in. They released around the same time.
They did, and Death Stranding had like a month.
That's just
like a week. When did Death
it was a week. It was a week apart.
Like come on. Then it was come on. Like there's no way we can objectively give.
He was in the game. He was in the game, so.
But they snubbed Assassin's Creed Origins because
they did.
I think that
Odyssey. It was Odyssey.
Well, I thought they did it also for Origins as well, and then I think Far Cry 5.
They also snubbed what was it, Jedi Fallen Order?
Yeah, that was last year's one. Yeah,
I think they should have set games until January 1st of next year.
Yeah,
like to me that makes sense.
The business year though, because like the business year starts in April.
That's true. That's true.
They don't follow like Q1, 2, 3,
Well, we
and
don't
4.
know what
Like,
kind of. We don't know what Jeff's thinking, what his parameters are when they set this up.
was it made by Sony? Sweet.
Stop it! Stop it! We're not
Look,
doing
man, I give that guy shit because he's obviously biased. I mean, he could try and say he's not, but come on now.
Oh Lord have mercy! You finna start another topic. We ain't even
Jeff,
this is even written down.
Jeff, I was
I'm
reading the criteria for Game of the Year. Jeff, I was reading the criteria for Game of the Year. Why does it say down here at the top, must be made by Sony?
Send
Or
that in the
Kojima.
email. But either way, let's go ahead and roll over to the last topic now. The last one we got lined up. But it's been an amazing show so far. Let me go ahead and give a couple more quick shout outs. We got Invader just slid in the DMs right here. Shout out to Invader, Crazy Greek, BZ, Cray Simmons TV, Indy. Shout out to everybody watching live. I see the GWG. Ladies keep popping in and out of here. Appreciate you guys' support. You really did bring the whole fam. I appreciate that.
Told you.
Y'all
Yeah,
ladies really support
absolutely.
each other. Once again,
Always.
go show them some love. I put all of their links in the description. Please go check them out. Subscribe to the channel. Follow them on Twitter. Just support everything that they're doing if you're a fan of our show is here as well. So let's go ahead and roll over to the last topic, man. So the last thing is, this is one I just kind of came up with off the top of my head. This generation is essentially wrapping up. We are going to be finito pretty soon in a couple months with this generation. So I want us to get everybody's opinion on what's the most underrated game this generation, in your opinion, that you played, that you feel like, man, this game, for whatever reason, people, whether it be critical success or just, commercial success, just people don't seem to either talk about the game enough, or it always slides kind of under the radar, but it's a high quality game. So I know we got a ton of games in our backlog, so it's going to be tough. So Delilah, we are starting with you. Underrated game.
I was hoping you wasn't good.
Oh no,
It's fine.
absolutely.
No, you can.
Absolutely,
That's cool.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I have a tie.
Okay, that's fair.
So for me, I would say, Halo 5.
Really? Halo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because I look at Halo different. I mean, the story, yes, has its own issues with the story, but the gameplay was actually pretty good, and so was the multiplayer. But my other game, this game just have a soft spot in my heart for a multitude of reasons, and that would be ReCore.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay.
Because people rag on ReCore, I get it. I understand the issues with the game, the repetitiveness. I get it, but I look at what Microsoft has as far as IP, and ReCore, to me, it just solves a lot of things that's not releasing right now, as far as platformers, as far as, like, to me, the potential for that game is just massive. And I would, I'm just a fan of that title. Like, ReCore, to me, with the core bots, switching between bots, switching weapons, getting new guns, like it felt like old school, like Metroid for me, because I'm just a huge platformer
Well, the guy
fan.
who made Metroid did that game, right?
I know, man. so it and also had like Mega Man vibes. So I don't know. It's and I'm always and people, like, it just burns like me every time someone like, a ReCore sucked, and it's like, no, because I absolutely love that game. I promise you, I've played that game probably more than anybody has ever played it. Easily like 75 hours or so just playing ReCore.
I played a ton of it. I never ever finished because I know it was one of the bots were like messed up. You couldn't get the last bot for a while for whatever reason. He wasn't available. The gorilla one, I think it was a gorilla. I can't remember exactly.
The 8 bot.
The 8. Yeah, you couldn't get them for whatever. It was like glitching, and I think they patched it. But yeah, ReCore is a game.
And then the definitive edition fixed a lot of stuff with the loading times. So, and also added new weapons, new areas you could visit, new dungeons. Again, if you're a platformer fan, like I'm a platformer fan, I love that genre. So that game it checked all the boxes for me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, so ReCore is definitely one that I didn't expect. I mean, ReCore I have ReCore. Me and my wife played a ton of it. She played a bunch of it. I did. The game was fantastic. A lot of, like you said, a lot of different qualities there. A lot of times when I think about those games, I think a lot of them were just they were victims of what was going on with Xbox.
Like the Blast Zone of other
they were calling the Blast Zone. Same thing with Rise, same thing with Sunset, same thing with a lot of the IPs. Xbox has a ton of new IPs they started with. Unfortunately, a majority of them either didn't come out or just didn't get the kind of success that they probably would get if it came out this year. or some other year. So Recore is a really, really good one. So good start. So we're gonna go to you, Stag. Get your opinion. What's underrated for you? A game you played. I got a feeling that I kind of know.
Ooh, I'm curious. What do you think I'm going to say?
Children of Marta.
No.
What? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm going with an Xbox IP, actually.
Oh, go ahead. Okay.
I mean, Children of Morta is a great fucking game, and I will spread the love and the word about that game anywhere, anytime. And I don't think it's underrated because anybody who's actually given that game a chance fucking loves it. Yeah. So as far as I know, I mean, there's probably some asshole that's dumb and doesn't like it, but I don't want to talk to that guy anyways. Anyhow, Sunset Overdrive.
Oh, I love that. I love the game.
It's a great game. It's one of the first games to launch on the system. It just I don't know why it never really captured the audience that it needed. I mean, dude, you could like make customizable guns. You could like it felt like you were in a skateboarding jet set radio shooter that was not super. It was cartoony for sure, but it was a lot of fucking fun to play. I mean, I even started it on PC because like I love the game.
So I got a theory. It feels like they were. You look at Spider-Man. Obviously, these are two completely different games. But the way that you move around in Sunset, it was like they were like demoing that for Spider-Man, like how to get around the city. Because you think about Sunset, it was a pretty big city. You had to get around in kind of jet set radio-ish kind of way. But the way you move around, the way the character moves, reminds me a lot of some of the mechanics are kind of like Spider-Man-ish. But Insomniac, you're right. I mean,
killing the game was so fluid and like jumping from rail to rail and like just massacring all those mutated whatever the fucks was great. The storyline was fun.
The DLC, the extra DLC where they extended the ending.
I didn't play that.
Like the DLC they released short, like I would say easily like 3 months after the game had crazy like hints of the sequel, like, and that's what I was a little bit upset. It's like it has all these little stuff. Like,
so who owns the IP specific? Is it
Sony owns the IP now? They acquired the company.
And they kept Microsoft, like let them have it back. Shortly before
See,
that was the reason why. Didn't they go to Sony first with the game, and Sony wanted to own the IP, and they said no, and then they came to Xbox and said, I remember reading the article. That's why I was like, sure, you can put it on everything, and that's why it was not everything, but that's why it was exclusive to Xbox first because they didn't want to actually own the IP. They just allowed Insomniac to put the game there. I think initially Sony wanted to own the IP, and they were like, "No, we don't want to do that." So they eventually ended up getting the IP because they bought the company, but
so that's how the deal went. Like, Sunset Overdrive, the IP itself was owned by Insomniac. Microsoft had the publishing rights for the game, so that's why they never released it on any other platform because Microsoft paid for the development, paid for the publishing, all that good stuff. But now, since they have been acquired by Sony, Sony owns all of Insomniac.
Sheesh.
Including that IP.
Sheesh.
So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Centurion. Most underrated game for you this generation, brother.
Hold on. Let me get the soapbox over here. Oh, anyway.
There you go.
Now I have so my first party studio pick for Xbox is Quantum Break. I really enjoyed that game. I enjoyed the movie or the television show, whatever you want to call it. The funny part is I saw that game in the magazines. I had no interest in that game. And then I found out that it came with a white Xbox and I only wanted the white Xbox. And so I got the white Xbox and I had this game and put it in and I couldn't stop playing it until I got to the end from that point. And so it was an amazing game for me. But if we want to talk about multiplat, for me, it's also Prey.
Prey's a good one. Shout out to Jamie Moran. That's my guy. He's a big Prey fan as well. But go ahead.
No, I was just wanting to say Prey. I mean, just to be, running around on that space station and the fact that even though it's on a space station, it's still technically a little open world and it's it's linear, but to a point. You know, you get different options. You could tackle things differently, and so it's just there's actually a lot more freedoms to that game than people really think. I had an absolute blast playing it.
Okay. All right. Well, cool. That's a good option too. I mean, I remember winning. I actually won a copy of Quantum Break in like a giveaway or something. That's how I got it. But the game is fantastic. So very underrated. All of these games we're talking about, Delilah, it goes back that blast radius. That first 2 or 3 years was people don't realize it. Games were buried just by everything else that was going on, not the game itself. Like these games,
they were buried by how many P's was it? Stagger?
Oh yeah, there's that too. But 900.
Wait a minute, it was 180.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
But no, Quantum Break. Like, I just want to mention
that was a great game too.
It did things with time that I'd never seen in a game before.
Mm-hmm.
Like one part that stood to me the most, and I constantly think about this part is when you get to the second level, quote unquote second level after the first cut scene or movie, and you push over the paint. You see the wet paint. Yeah. And you like, man, who spilled this paint here? And you play through the game, you realize you spilled the paint. Like it is so incredible how they manipulate it now. Yeah,
I guess the big sci-fi nerd comes out for me because it's kind of funny. Like the hamster named Schrodinger, the guy who actually played around with the idea of physics and time travel was Edward Schrodinger, or how do you pronounce his name? And so I thought it was really cool how they did take some of his theories and kind of put a little sci-fi on them. But it was, if you were trying to attempt time travel, this is kind of like his theory on how it would work, involving black holes and walking in directions around the black holes. And that's what the corridors were for with the machine. And I thought it was really, really cool. I mean, like, this is like an actual plausible machine. This isn't some fanciful thing like rock from space or something like that. Somebody just basically tapped into something that was only theorized.
Yeah, this is a lot of cool ideas with the game. But once again, when there's noise, around these games, all that they just take away the energy from the game before it could even get going. So unfortunately, this was another one of those victims that I just think got caught.
Oh yeah. I mean, I go on, but like one of the most iconic parts for me on that game was the guy who was one of the time soldiers that wore the packs, and he basically suited up and got ready because he was trying to defend the device from the other guy who was trying to take it. And you just see him like standing in front of it, and I was like, "Oh man, you've been seeing these two guys throughout the entire game, and now they're about to throw down."
Yeah, it's awesome. Such an awesome game. So let's go ahead and get this over to you, Fuzz, before we wrap things up here, man. Most underrated game, not Forza.
Forza is not underrated. No, but it's hard because I've been looking over my catalog of games here, and I have like my go-to ones are going to be Mad Max. To me, that being a fan of the movies and even the remake movie that they did, I really enjoyed that game, and I wish they had a little bit more of a replayable aspect as far as for like a new game plus, and that they had more content or just expanded on it. Another one for me, Quantum Break also fits that description. Rise also fits that description.
A lot of
but
them,
but the main one that stands out to me, even though it generated some buzz, it is a smaller studio. They probably didn't necessarily get the attention that they probably should have in the whole zombie game genre. And it's not Undead Labs because they did an awesome job with State of Decay 2. I'm going to go with Dying Light. Like, that's a game that people are still playing that is so old. It's long in the tooth, but it's one of those games that
That's Techland, right?
Yeah, they took all of the favorite aspects of almost every zombie movie and put it into the game. The story wasn't amazing, but it was good enough to keep you going through it. And then the expansion that they did definitely probably didn't gain as much attention as it probably should have. If you're into zombie games,
PvP or something, didn't they add?
They added PvP, they added arena stuff, they've added so much stuff, and they continue. Well, I think they stopped support about 3 months ago or so, but they've been supporting this game, 5 years after it launched. So they did an awesome job as far as trying to keep the fans engaged, but. It probably should have got more attention, especially for all the zombie games that came out this generation. I honestly believe that is the best one of this generation.
The concept of the game alone is something to be praised. The idea of a day and night cycle and just the dynamic of the game completely changes when it becomes nighttime.
Yeah.
And, it's crazy.
And that you can play as the zombie.
That too, yeah.
What you say,
I can't play that. It's too at night. I can't. It's terrifying.
In the beginning, it's like total gut wrenching, like terror. You don't want to be out at night. By the end of the game, when you're leveled up, I mean, you're like deliberately out popping shots off, deliberately trying to attract the creatures to you.
Yeah, it's fun. That dynamic change is cool too. Dying Light is definitely one that I got it day one. Matter of fact, it's one of the few games I still have physical. I actually have the disc of Dying Light, so I actually went to GameStop and purchased it when it came out. But that's another great game. I don't know. I guess it's a personal opinion, underrated. I don't know if it truly was, but maybe it didn't get the type of attention that it probably deserved, especially with the second one coming out. So I guess my pick. I didn't think much about this, even though I made the damn topic. Sheesh! You guys had all such great. Sunset Overdrive was such a good one.
Yeah.
That's a super good one. Like you guys said, Rise. What's a game that I feel like is underrated? We can go with Stag's favorite, Farm Together.
I know a game that's actually pretty.
I know. Hey, look, if you ever want to just relax and that game is literally
that game is so addictingly
relaxing. Yeah.
Can I make a suggestion to PTK? Because I know a game that you and your girl play together a lot. Plants vs. Zombies.
Oh yeah. Cool. That's my guilty pleasure, man. You exposing me on the internet, man.
Hey, what? I play it. I'll say it right now. I got Battle for Neighborville and Plants vs. Zombies 2 on digital right now.
I can play that shit anytime.
I'm just playing. I don't give a shit. I love the game. I've made it public. Knowing that I love all of the PvZ games. So yeah, I guess that's one. I mean, maybe in the adult space it didn't get the love. I don't know. Probably younger kids, like to play it a lot. It still has a pretty good population of people. So that's another game. But I would probably go with something like Sunset just because it was so unique. Like, it was such a unique game. The colors, the environment, the characters, it just didn't take itself seriously. It was a little bit of Jet Set Radio, a little bit of just a ton of different kinds of games. Like I said, even the traversal Spider-Man kind of element with the way you moved around. So I'd go probably Sunset if I had to really, really sit and think about a game that I thought should have got a whole lot more love than it did. But that's going to go ahead and wrap up the show, everybody, man. It was a phenomenal show. We are going to go ahead and start with the guests. Let me say a couple things. Appreciate you, Delilah, for taking some time out on the show this Saturday to hang out with us. I know you're busy, got a lot going on, but appreciate you taking some time. Let everybody know once again where they can find you, what you got going on, anything coming up with GWG, and what can they expect when they get there.
Yeah, you all know you can follow me on Twitter, Delilah_HD. You can catch me on Growing Gaming every Saturday at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. And July is going to be a pretty big month for us. It's Flying July. We like to do a lot of giveaways and things like that. So definitely check us out. And thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. Shout out to the ladies in the chat.
Yes.
GWG, what's up?
Yes.
Shout out. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Boogie, everybody in there. Lady Infamous, appreciate you guys showing support. Once again, I'm going to get all you guys on. Infamous, so keep them DMs open. You too, Boogie. Keep them DMs open. Y'all, you guys are next. We need more ladies up in here. But once again, appreciate you guys loaning us Delilah for the evening, man. You guys are so awesome, man. Thanks for the love and support. And once again, all their links are in the description below as well. Go check them out. If you're a fan of the show, please do me a favor and go check what they got going on as well. Let's go and throw this over to you, Stag. I know you're going under the knife here pretty soon, but I don't know if you want to update anybody on the stream schedule or just what's changing, man.
Man, I real quick, I want to say when you brought it up in our private chat about the fact that we haven't had a woman on.
Yeah.
And that I was totally on board and thought to myself, holy shit, this is a very good thing to do, because I was talking to my wife today about it. Actually, I was like, man, there's just so many podcasts out there, and it's very, I mean, gaming is, I don't want to be all sexist, but it's a very male-dominated activity. It seems like
Not
sometimes,
really,
and so I know it's just that that vocal minority thing. You know what I mean?
Stagger,
Like
put the stick down. Put the stick down.
People are fucking louder, and it's like I feel I get a lot. Like there's a lot of men that podcast, and there's just a lot of them, and there's most of the panels are male, and I was like, yes, let's do this because I'm very much like I'm a stay-at-home dad. I default to my wife on everything. It's like when we have a contractor out, they're looking at me, and I'm like, bro, you need to fucking impress her. I just signed my name and look pretty. Okay? I'm not even kidding here, man. Like that's a smart way over there. But I mean, so it was great, and I'm really glad you were here. I'm glad we could have you here. You were great tonight, and thanks you for all your information and expertise. But more about myself. Yes, I am. I'm going under the knife, having another sinus surgery on Thursday. This recovery should be a lot quicker. I should only be down for 2 or 3 weeks. So I am switching up my schedule a little bit. I'm going to be utilizing not just Twitch. I'll be doing some mixer stuff as well. I announced it on Twitter, and all these T words are getting me confused over here the other day. But so Twitch, I'm going to stick with doing indie titles in the afternoons, like I do 11 a.m. on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, I think that's my schedule. Anyways, and I have committed myself wholeheartedly to streaming nothing but Lego games.
Oh, wow.
On Mixer in the evenings. I am going to work through. I even blew my wife away today because I'm like one of the most I'm not watching Harry Potter guys in the world, just for no good reason other than I just don't want to. And I bought the Harry Potter Lego games. She's like, "Oh my god, I heart you so much right now." So, but yeah, my Mixer channel will be dedicated to playing nothing but Lego.
That's
games.
awesome, bro. I applaud you.
That's what I'll be doing. Yeah, I mean, I played the Lego Ninjago recently, and it was great. And now I'm playing the Force Awakens, and it's great. I'm having a lot. I used to hate those games, and I'm enjoying them. So I was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna do them all."
Hey, do what you got to do, brother. They're fun. Lego games.
Dude,
those games
it's good to see somebody else bought that Harry Potter collection.
Dude,
you should see the secret Lego collection I got going on over here.
Okay.
My wife and my father-in-law's Lego collections, like actual Legos.
Yeah, I've heard about them.
I said to my father-in-law, I was like, "There's at least $20,000 worth of Legos in this house," and he was like, "Try a lot more." And he didn't. I was just like, I don't even want to know, man. Like how much money.
Are you being conservative? No.
Yeah, I was apparently. So, yeah. Anyways, once I recover from my surgery, I'm going to outline a plan. I will be announcing it more than likely on bg4ghub.com and on Twitter.
So they're giving you a sinus surgery, right?
Yeah, my second one. They're going into.
Does that mean you're going to come back like all 50 Cent? You're going to sound different on the mic?
No, man. I'll just use my my mixer board to sound like I do right now, like a sexy Kermit the Frog. So.
Well, awesome, man. Well, once again, man, we all say a little prayer for the surgery that everything goes well. Wish you back soon, man. Appreciate you in here every single week. Consistent as hell, man. Thank you. Comedy relief here. If you guys don't know already, man, Stag is that guy, brother. So I appreciate you, man. Good luck with the surgery. So we're going to throw this over to you, Centurion. Let everybody know what's going on. More videos on the way, things they could see from you, brother.
Yes, I did just release a review for Maneater on BG4G Hub. The video's on my channel, and it's the review and everything. The full article is on bg4ghub.com. Just to put it out there, I want to wish everybody here a happy Father's Day, but that is not limited to just the males. That also goes out to females, because even my wife grew up in a household where her mother had to fill the roles of both people.
Shout out to the fathers and mom fathers as well.
Yeah.
So definitely, want to put that out there. But for all those interested, you can always find me right here kicking it with all these fine people right here on the Shop Podcast every Saturday night. I also do TXR, the Xbox Roundtable podcast, every Sunday night with Invader and the other fine gentlemen over there. And you can also find me on YouTube, Twitter, and Xbox Live at Centurion1307.
Appreciate you, brother, man. Every single week, man. Got the best panel in gaming, man, bar none. I appreciate you guys, man. You guys make me look good every single week, so thank you for that. Fuzz,
before you move on, it's one thing that we mentioned EA Play, but one title no one mentioned or talked about. Skate, yes.
Yeah.
We didn't get it in. Yeah, we didn't get it in. We didn't get it in. That was, I guess, that was probably the highlight of. That's the only thing I saw that people were talking about.
It didn't really show much. It just announced it.
Yeah,
I was just curious if anyone played the other Skate game.
Yes. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, but no. So shout out to everybody who loves Skate. So hopefully it seemed there was a lot of people excited about that. But yes, Fuzz, buttery smooth Fuzz. Actually, it is Barry Ross, Delilah. If you didn't know it, so he's an amalgamation of Barry White and Bob Ross.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a little bit of both. Wholesome guy, but Barry. Yeah, Barry Ross. It's on you, brother. Let everybody know what's going on. Where they can find you.
Oh, no, I think Fonzarelli. Have you heard Fonzarelli?
I've had Fonz on the show. Yeah,
like his voice too. Like he got one.
It's smooth, man. I'm still waiting on Fuzz to do my voice now. Go ahead, brother.
Oh, I definitely want to give a shout out to Sean LeBrie that updated my avatar as well as the ones for my sons.
Oh, nice. Shout out Sean. Man.
Shout out to him.
Great.
Speaking of which, Sean, he did ours for Grown Women Gaming too. He did our
He did mine as well. He's great.
Yeah,
look at that. See, Sean, you got work over here, brother. Shout out.
Putting in work.
Yeah. So if you
great work.
A gaming avatar or any platform work or not platform work, but like work for your social media stuff, definitely check out his portfolio and reach out to him. But man, it was awesome being here. You can always find me on Twitter at @fuzzy_Belvedere, PlayStation Network at @fuzzy_Belvedere, and on Xbox Live at @fuzzy_Belvedere. More than likely playing Forza, although, like I said, kind of dabbling with PC. But awesome having you on here, Delilah.
Yeah, no
Always great to be here with you guys talking about games on Saturday, and man, awesome show.
Awesome show, man. And last but not least, your boy PTK Blam, the host with the most here on the Shop podcast. Appreciate you guys every week. Find me on Twitter, PTK Blam, everywhere, PTK Blam, Xbox Live. Thank you guys for the support. Once again, thank you. Once again, Delilah, Grown Women Gaming. You guys are amazing. Please, if you're a fan of this show, please go check out what they're doing. Great podcast over there. Awesome, super knowledgeable, well-informed women over there. Awesome. And you see them in the chat showing support. So we appreciate you guys taking your time out. But other than that, same time, same place next week, 6 p.m. Be here. Appreciate you guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Peace out. See you guys next week. We are out of here.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Later.
Peace.